To be successful, we need to learn how to control our attention and stay focused. This video will help you fight off your distractions by discussing 7 ideas from the book Indistractable by Nir Eyal. And stick around for the last idea because it might provide the incentives you're needing to follow through on your most important tasks. Number 1. Plan ahead. Planning is the only way to tell between traction and distraction. Traction is an action that moves us towards what we really want, while distraction is an action that moves us away from what we really want. For example, exercise is traction if we want lean and healthy bodies, while binge eating junk food distracts us from the body we want. One groundbreaking thing I thought the author said is that the time you plan to waste is not wasted time. So instead of fighting so hard to resist your distractions, you may be better off setting aside time for them. For example, I tried to take one whole day off every 7 days to intentionally try to rest and do things I enjoy. For example, one of those days I planned to spend a majority of my off day watching season 3 of Cobra Kai. I followed through on my plan, and that show is amazing. Now, although watching TV can be a distraction throughout the week when I'm trying to work on meaningful tasks, during this rest day, it wasn't a distraction because it wasn't pulling me away from my set out plans. Number 2, the root of distraction. Nir mentions in the book that the drive to relieve discomfort is the root cause of our behavior. We need to address the root cause of what's causing the distraction, or we will find other distractions. For example, let's say we have a writer working on their novel. As they're writing, their phone vibrates, letting them know they have a text message. They realize their phone vibrating distracts them from their work, so they silence it and put their phone in the other room. However, the root problem of this writer's distraction could be that they falsely believe writing should always be easy and fun. If they don't address their root problem, maybe their phone will no longer distract them, but if they don't address their root problem, they may be distracted by something else. This writer, as well as you and I, need to accept that work isn't always easy and fun. Work can cause discomfort, but the discomfort that comes from disciplined work is often necessary to produce anything great. As the writer addresses the root cause of their problem, their false belief of work always being easy and fun, they'll be less likely to engage in unhelpful escapes of reality that distractions offer. Number 3, the 10-minute rule. When you tell yourself you can't do something, it only makes you want to do it more. The idea here is that you're not saying no to your distraction, you're saying not yet. For example, one day I was working and I got a vibrating text message. I wanted to check the message, but I tried the 10-minute rule and told myself I could check the message in 10 minutes and needed to focus on my work in the meantime. What happened is I got in such a flow state with my work that over 10 minutes went by before I checked my phone. Delay giving into your distraction for 10 minutes by practicing the 10-minute rule and see what it does for you. Number 4, surf your urge. When you try to fight or suppress an urge, it has a way of becoming stronger. So instead, when you feel an urge pulling you towards a distraction, just stay with that feeling and ride it like a wave. For example, maybe you had a stressful day at work and you're looking for relief. Instead of engaging in that relief, just allow yourself to feel the stress without judging it or trying to do something to relieve it. You'll likely be surprised that your stressful feelings will start to diminish, and you may learn that you don't need to engage in distractions to cope with your stress anymore. You just need to ride your urges like a wave. Number 5, reimagine your task. Simply asking how you can make a task more enjoyable can give you some great ideas. For example, I'm not a huge fan of cleaning my house and would put it off often. But then I asked, how could I make cleaning more enjoyable? And boom, the idea of listening to an audiobook while cleaning came to me. Shortly after asking this question, I was cleaning my bathroom and enjoying it, since I was learning while doing it. The author believes the cure for boredom is curiosity. So imagine how to do your task in different or better ways. Number 6. Practice self-compassion. We all give in to distraction from time to time, but those who practice self-compassion are more resilient. For example, let's say someone is mindlessly scrolling on their social media accounts because they're anxious about a big school or work project that's due soon. If they don't practice self-compassion, they'll likely beat themselves up over it and make it harder to refocus on the task. But if they did practice self-compassion, their self-talk may be something like this. I'm anxious about this big project, but it's okay that I'm anxious. I just want the project to go well. I know checking my social media accounts is a distraction, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I can get back on track. Practicing self-compassion with this type of self-talk will make it easier to bounce back from distraction much quicker. Number 7. The power of pre-commitments. There were 3 types of pre-commitments discussed in the book. The first one discussed was an effort pact. This type of pact involves increasing the amount of effort required to perform an undesirable action. For example, maybe you like to indulge in ice cream, but instead of having it readily available at your house, you may make a pact with yourself that you can only eat it at an ice cream parlor. It's likely this pact you made with yourself will lead to eating less ice cream because it now requires more effort to engage in your distraction. The next type of pact discussed was a price pact. Putting money on the line can encourage us to do what we say we will do. For example, Nir practiced what he called the burn or burn method. His pact was he needed to work out or he would burn a $100 bill. The pain of losing $100 motivated Nir to work out, and he never burned his money. Whether it's burning money or paying a friend if you don't follow through on a task, a price pact can be an effective strategy to help you follow through on your tasks. However, use caution when using price pacts, as they wouldn't be good for those who beat themselves up when they fail, and they should only be used for short tasks, such as writing for a couple hours or going for a workout. And the third pre-commitment discussed in the book were identity pacts. How we view ourselves has so much power because the perception of who we are changes what we do. To tap into the power of our identity, we need to be aware of the words we're using. For example, let's say someone is trying to quit smoking. If someone offers them a cigarette and they say they can't smoke, the phrase, "I can't," is addressing a behavior. Whereas saying, "I don't smoke," is speaking to a person's identity. Saying, "I do," or saying, "I don't" to something is speaking to your identity and will make it easier to resist temptation and distraction when you do so. The author advises us to call ourselves indistractable, because as we identify ourselves as not being distracted, we'll have an easier time acting in ways that are congruent with how we see ourselves. I recommend you check out the book Indistractable by Nir Eyal if you haven't already, and can leave a link in the description of this video to do so now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.